Your Royal Highness Maximus.
My subject, Sam, how are you?
Sire.
My liege.
We're throwing it back this Friday, Max. We're going into the archives, going deep into our sort of rookie interview days.
Our rookie era, you know. We were fresh off the bench.
Fresh off the bench.
We're rifling through the tomes in the library, Sam.
We were. But we're talking to the Cooperoo Kings, and I'm not talking the footy club.
No, we're not.
That's so niche.
That is pretty niche. We're talking to the Bowls Club Kings.
The Bowls Club Kings. Throwing it back to Dune Rats.
Yes. I think we had Danny on the show in 2021.
Yep.
And look, you got to give it to the Dune Rats. Just all vibe.
All vibe. And surprising amount of brain.
I don't think it's surprising. I think the boys are
They're geniuses.
Very on it. But either way, this is a good chat from COVID pandemic days.
Yes.
But still one that I think that holds up and worth a listen. So get it back into your ears. Sambo, how's it going, man? You good coming back into the new year?
Yeah, good, Max. Been busy. It's
good stuff. All right, that's fine, Sam. We don't have time for this, mate. We've got a fucking awesome guest on the show this week. I'm fucking heaps stoked. It's Danny from Dune Rats. It's the
Smooth segue.
How you doing, man?
How you going? Yeah, good, mate. 2021's off to a flyer, isn't it? The world is staying on course.
It was going to shit, and it's keeping getting shit over. Yeah. And that's the best part.
Yeah.
I guess let's dive in. What's been spinning on your playlist? What have you guys been listening to over the last couple of days, weeks?
Man, a bit of everything. Like I've always loved Pup, that band from over in Canada. I think they're Canadian.
Yeah, they are.
Sure.
Yes.
Yeah. And but I'm me and BC in particular, we really like hip hop. We've always been sort of hip hop enthusiasts. So Pop Smoke at the moment is pretty tough music. Rest in peace. Been watching that. But yeah, I mean, there's a real small band called Bad Nerves that do an early fiddler style sound that I've been listening to. It's weird that I've got a car finally that can connect to your phone. Like I've always, every other car I've had has never even had air conditioning. It's roll down the windows, and even the rollers are fucking. You got to use your hand to push the window down.
Bit of manual assist.
Yeah, exactly. And so, I'd never really had an Apple music sort of thing. Even though this is probably on Apple, but so I'd only downloaded a handful of songs probably 7 years ago or something like that on this list, and it's the only playlist that connects to the car at the moment. So I've been listening to the Hives, Tyrannosaurus Hives, for the last 3 months. Yeah.
Not a bad album, to be fair.
Good album,
to be forced to listen to on repeat.
Yeah, it's good. It sort of shocks the shit out of you though when it connects and start playing, and it's always just real intense sort of drumming, and yeah, it's good.
Shit. Well, I want to talk about Junies because Too Tough Terry is out into the universe, and it's been out for a little while now. But the ultimate power move. What is who are the Terrys of the world, and what do they need to stop doing?
Well, when you were saying the ultimate power move, I don't know if this is a Terry, because the Terry thing, a Terry is a real kind of a strange loving and hating character, because they're just so set in their ways that it's just who they are, and it is it. And there's kind of a respect that has to go to someone who's just so brashly this is who the fuck I am. Within reason, you can't be a complete fuckwit and just go, I'm a Terry.
Sam and I both definitely grew up. Not grew up. Came of age listening to Doonies. I mean, Sam's only 8 years old, so yeah, he grew up fucking listening to it.
Yeah.
But I mean, Sexy Beach is 10 years old now, and so are so many of the other singles and EPs that you guys dropped in those early days.
Yeah.
There's a lot that's happened between now and then, and you guys have changed. You've added members to the band.
Yeah.
But in those early days when it was just sort of you and BC just getting up on stage, was everything as wild as it looked? Was it just pylons in a lumberer and stuff?
Yeah, it's because you guys are Brizzy boys. Yeah, so
yeah.
It was at that time it was actually really refreshing, because there wasn't we're pretty lucky that the Valley is so centralized in the nightlife. So it's kind of you can, if you really want to, you can go see 4 shows pretty easily. And so it started. early on, which is weird as well. Cheers for even knowing Sexy Beach is 10 years old. We didn't even realise till 2 weeks ago when our manager was like, "Hey guys, congratulations!" Like it's been, and we were like, "Fuck." To be honest, we started the band for we thought if we could get $200 a show, we could split $100 each, and that was beer for the night, out. So it's pretty sick to have done a few more recordings since then and be, like you said, have Brett in our lives, which he came on really early, and obviously there was a much bigger improvement in everything. But no, we just obviously helped round out our sound and stuff like that. But yeah, early on the shows were there was just so many like different venues that originally wouldn't give each one of our bands say there was Soho, DZ, us. There was a band called Millions. I don't know if you guys remember those guys.
Yeah, lovely.
Still really close mates. Last Dinosaurs, just all those sorts of bands, and we couldn't really play show. We would just tell the venues we can give you 3 or 4 bands and book out a night, and a Lumber Lounge was definitely one of them. We had mates that ran that place, and it turned into a BC actually was a booker there for one like club night that got cancelled after 3 weeks because all he ended up doing was getting his mates like on stage just to jam, and no one in their right mind would listen to us fuckers jam because we can't. So I
don't know. You guys were across some pretty good bands that, as well as Dune Rats. Like you guys played in some pretty ripper outfits as well.
Yeah, well, BC had a major record deal before Dune Rats. He started young, so he's good. But and Kairos and stuff. Like we were all like pretty tight group, and like would always either play shows together or go support other shows, and that was the big difference to us and other like Sydney, Melbourne bands at the time. And like every city has their like flow. It's sort of go, well, Brisbane, a couple of years or 3 or 4 years, and we've always had like Drunk Mums and a fucking million other sick Melbourne bandmates, and the same for Sydney bandmates and stuff. And it started growing, but back in the early days it was fucking wild because everyone was just really good mates playing shows together and trying to build up each other. There was never any tall poppy shit, which still doesn't exist with all our mates, so it's good.
Yeah.
I was like, as you probably see, like with Skeggs and Soho and DZ and all of us, we all back each other pretty hard. They're good.
Yeah,
bands.
for sure.
Easy to back.
Because we were chatting with Shane from DZ last.
Not that cunt.
Cut that guy down.
Yeah, he's a fucking legend. I call him too much. Actually, he's like, dude, stop calling me.
Lay off it, mate.
Yeah, I've had enough.
We were chatting with him not that long ago, and we were sort of talking about that Brisbane scene and coming up through that sort of that time period. And I guess, do you think that there was something special going on? Because I mean, those are 4 massive bands that all grew out of Brizzy in the same scene. Do you think there was something special going on at that time, or was it just that you all kind of pitched in, helped build each other up?
Well, I think like a big. Sorry, I'm like, if I'm looking up really weird, I've got my microphone like sort of. If you can see it, it's just like boom, real boom mic.
BC's just off camera, like holding that bad boy up, movie style.
Is that good? That's good. Anyway, yeah, it was like the Cosmic Psychos like told us this really sick thing when we were on tour once, which was the rocker clock. And it's just like it goes around, and like bands, it'll get over a band eventually, and it'll just go on to something else, and that's like a pretty healthy progression for music, is to like move on to something else, and then when it comes back around to that, it's just a little bit different because of that journey it's taken around the rocker clock. And I think at the time, Brizzy was just back into like wanting fucking punk band that are sort of like a bit more DIY. We fucking couldn't sing at all, can't play guitars. We still suck pretty bad anyway, both those things. After 10 years, comparatively, we're all right now, but I mean, we're not fucking concerto like fucking people. But it didn't have to be about that, which was really sick. Like we kind of were like, like we'll just play and have the fucking raddest time, and that's all that. We weren't the best musicians and shit, and so just before that, I think like the Greats were really big and they're amazing and stuff. So it was kind of then it went down a little, like not down, but it just went a bit more quiet on the scene for a year or 2 after that. And then we were lucky that, people started rocking up to shows.
We thought it might have been, Seamus, best tambourine player in town. He had something to do with it. He was like pushing us up.
Seamus, weirdly enough, no matter if the song tempo changes, his tempo never changes. You play a fast song, he's tapping it like. You play a real slow song, he's.
There's nothing better than Seamus getting on stage at a Brizzy gig because it's going to be quality.
It's quality, and he makes everyone on stage look tall. So.
Shout out to Seamus.
Yeah, if people don't know Seamus, he's a beautiful dude who's played with nearly every Brizzy band on tambourine, but he does look like he's from Middle Earth. He is just a very extra in Lord of the Rings looking motherfucker. But he's amazing. He's been like, I think one of our first, if not our first show, he was there. He's just that OG Brisbane. Goes to that many bands and legend.
He's one of those blokes that you'll just find in the backyard at Rick's, just sinking pots, just fucking hanging out.
Fucking drinks that Galliano like it's like lolly water. Usually when I'm doing a shot of Galliano, it's 4 a.m. and I'm a horrible human. Just sort of but he's just sipping on it at fucking 9 p.m.
Oh man,
it's
that shit's poison.
Yeah.
Well, I was doing a bit of research, and obviously soon after Sexy Beach, Dalai Lama came out, and it was the song that everyone in Brisbane snapped up and adopted as their barbecue and pool party banger. But you actually, quote unquote, met the great man. And, you even asked him a question.
That's what I was pretty nervous because it happened. I was super baked, so I didn't imagine it. But yeah, it was a fucking weird experience. I was I told BC, he said, well, what did you ask him? And I said, there's lots of young people in the crowd. Do you want to what do you want to see from our generation to moving forward, after you're dead, what would you like to see? And BC's like, what did he say? And I was like, I honestly can't remember. I was so baked. I just couldn't. He went for 20 minutes. And so then BC found the recording, which you can find on iTunes. It's there. And I said to him, did you listen to it? Because I don't have iTunes. And I said, did you listen to it? And he's like, yeah, I've got it. And I said, fuck, what did he say? And he goes, I have no fucking idea. It was so long. I stopped listening. So it's a long answer, but you can find it. Yeah, but got to ask him, and it existed. But a lot of the time, it was pretty funny to rhyme all those words together, which weirdly enough only rhyme if you got an Australian accent, because we go to America and they'd be like Dalai Lama, marijuana, big banana. It just doesn't have the same ring off it, and the same for other countries. But yeah.
Does that mean you get heaps of Yanks trying to put on Aussie accents while they're at duty shows, really trying to get into it?
Yeah, well, I don't mind that. I hate the Australians that go over there and then get an American accent after 2 weeks. It's we got a couple of mates every now and then. They'll go to England or US, and you'll see them after a month, and then just oh, hey guys, fuck, you're from Caboolture, fucker.
Yeah. Well, speaking of, given we're all from Brizzy, I thought it'd be rude of us not to talk about the great area. And as far as I'm aware, we're all, centered around the 4151 or were at some stage, the Coops area.
Yeah, and the mayor of Coorparoo, BC Michaels, still lives there and resides.
Mayor of Coorparoo.
Yeah, he's
King of the square.
Self-proclaimed. Yeah.
It's on his Instagram. It has to be official.
Yeah, exactly. If it's on your Instagram handle, it's it.
I think he calls himself the King of Coorparoo.
Is it?
I think so.
He's given himself a pay rise.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
it's a big jump, from the local Coorparoo mayor to ruler of the Commonwealth. Yeah.
In Brisbane anyway, you've got Soho that are, what are they? The
4122, mate.
4122 crew, and then we've got the King of Coorparoo. But, he's gone for a more modest beverage venue than the likes of, your East Leagues down the road. He's gone for the Coorparoo RSL. But,
the bowling club. Yeah.
Oh, the Bowls Club.
Yeah, it's the Bowls.
So
the RSL's down the road. They've got the big cash, but it's actually the local bowling thing that they wanted to shut down, and he sort of goes down there and helps out. He says, and credit to him, he helped he does a lot for him, but by saying that, he like painted like a post like 3 times. No, he goes down there and they love him down there. And like I remember we were walking past one day and it was real hot and it was all shut up. I think they weren't open on the day, like it was a Monday or something like that. And we were going down there. We wanted to have a beer and play some pool and. They said, and it was all shut up, and the owner was out on the green, and he was like, "What are you guys doing?" And BC's like, "Oh, I was just chasing a beer," sort of thing. He goes, "Well, you know where the light switches are. Go on." and so he just walks in behind the bar and sort of grabs a beer and have a game of pool, and then turn the lights off and walk back out. So
that's the dream.
He's a little
shout out to the
staple
fucking Cooperoo Bowls Club. Fuck Mount Gravatt Rugby League. Get Voho out of here.
Yeah, fuck that. Get to the bowls.
Get to the Cooperoo Bowls Club.
Yeah. We're going to see the Dune Rats version of Crackerjack, the movie, soon.
I think our life is just Crackerjack, pretty much. Eh?
I'd love to have a bit of Mick Malloy action in some Dune Rats.
And see, it'd be a good to have. Like, I love those celebrity sort of video clips you get where you get a celebrity to, I don't know, eat a plate full of chips and gravy or something. I don't know. That won't make it through the cutting room floor as an idea for a Mick Malloy film.
Mick Malloy doing red light, green light.
Yeah, now I'd pay to see that.
Yeah. Well, it's triggered my memory here. I mean, I know you said that you and the Voho boys and DZ are all very close, and there's no Paul Toppy.
Paul Toppy.
Fuck, love it. I love getting a Paul Toppy. Eh?
Paul Toppy. That sounds like a really cool alias. What's your name, sir? Paul Toppy. Yeah.
But when they did like Soda and they did the bowls, did BC get up in arms and go, fuck, that's my local spot, get out of it?
Yeah, well, look, possibly there could have been some heated discussion between James Tidswell and BC Michaels, but I think no love's lost between our bands. They but I mean, and the same with DZ. Like DZ fucking took us on our first ever tour, so we just I think our stuff always, and James, Hurry Up and Wait, James helped produce that album. Luke does a bunch of stuff for Tired Lion. It's pretty incestuous. So sometimes you might go, fuck, I had that idea, but then you don't know if you did, and you were just really drunk with the other member of that band and they were taller than you. Like you just kind of
just roll with the punches.
Happened a few times, yeah.
Another asset in the Dune Rats investment portfolio is Rat Bag Records, and you guys famously signed Skeggs very early on, and as we were saying off air, Toby and Brett certainly knew each other growing up. What's the boardroom in the A&R department like when Doonies are sitting in the CEO chair?
It's fucking really terrible. No, we're real lucky that Matty, our manager, is the brains behind and usually so it's a distro deal. So we'll saddle up with a really good distributor label. When we signed Skeggs, it was Warner that were distributing it all, and now we're with BMG, who are amazing. And so it's just settling up with people that know how to do their job, and we just sort of pick the bands that we go, fuck yeah, they've got a cool following, they're a good sound. And a lot of the time, if you look at the label, we actually we only really release people we give a fuck about personally. It's a bit weird. The Skeggs was an awesome band to release first because we didn't want to release any bands, to be honest. We just wanted to do the label to put out our own music, off it. And then when Tobes and Skeggs were like, we want to put out an EP and we want to put out an album and stuff, we were like, we reckon we can get you a really good distributing sort of deal, and didn't want to see them get fucked over by some A&R dude. And so it came out from a real genuine spot, and then we were did really well with that album for them, and it did, launched that album. They launched the band themselves. It's pretty easy to put out a band. They did all the hard work like that, and we were kind of of that. We were we do a shit ton of the work ourselves. They do a shit ton of the work themselves. So let's just sign bands that have their shit going on, but they want a nice big distribution deal, where they can get money to record a really good album when time comes. And then Toddy is actually so Kel, the singer from Toddy, is Brett's sister. So that's worked out really. She's an amazing muso and songwriter. and Chris, her partner, is as well, that plays drums. So it was a no-brainer to like put out Toddy and do that. And then Molly, a band from Denmark, which is really weird, but we toured with them. And Molly, who's also the Maltese, the singer, it's just amazing. He's got such good songs. So yeah, Ratbag's like kind of a passion, like a love, just loving the bands that we put on it, and a lot of the work's done by a manager. So Matty gets all the credit for all the hard shit.
But hey, you guys started the Copenhagen office, so
the Copenhagen office is off its head.
Speaking of off its head, I'm just gonna, we said that 2021's off to a flyer, whether it be sarcasm or not. Saturday the 30th of January will be, because you guys are playing Summer Sounds Festival in Adelaide, along with the Chats, Dear Seattle, and Teenage Jones, and that's quite a large sesh lineup, I take it. But
very sessionable.
But we saw our friends Towns play it earlier in the week.
Oh, dude, Towns are amazing. They're fucking awesome.
They're great dudes.
Yeah, dude. Fuck, they have like a ripper film clip as well. It's good.
The boys will fucking love hearing that shit.
Yeah. No, BC talks to him almost too much. Like, he's just like... it's like 3 a.m. and they're probably getting fucking messages through to their phone, but they're really good dudes. I no doubt think if it's in our ball, we're going to be touring with them at some point in the future, I reckon.
Hell
They're
yeah.
epic. Yeah.
I was going to say though, they played. It looks like you're almost playing to musical chairs. I mean, it goes without saying. Everyone's got their own cue, but I'm going to cut Max off with the question here, so apologies in advance. But are you going to have to curtail some of the classic Doonies live moments? Is there a COVID safe way to bang out a shoey?
Well, I don't think we'll be spitting in each other's mouths. Like, sort of. That's like, I mean, like Vaughn, who does all the Doonies TV stuff. Shout outs Vaughn. And it does all that filming, like when we're on the road and shit. When a COVID was sort of in full effect, he said, I got this picture sent to me, and it's me just like hocking this massive spit, and it's between my mouth and his mouth at the time, and he's just like shutting his eyes, just looking so disgusted. And the message said, I wonder how long till we can do this again, sort of shit. And I was like, yeah, probably a while, dude. So I think some of that sort of stuff, probably not, but we kind of got a few things planned out. We're pretty lucky that we've had a lot of time to like think about that stuff. I feel for the bands around April and May last year, when they had and Hockey Dad obviously as well, with their drive-in things, that big albums, awesome albums, and then you just can't tour them and shit. So I think that like Skeggs did that tuxedo thing, which was genius, like live shows and stuff, so it made obviously bands think on their feet. But we've sort of I think we'll just try and make pod ruckus. Pod ruckus. Yeah. Interpod ruckus.
That's fucking awesome.
Amazing.
Yeah.
The setup does look pretty cool. If there's anyone in Adelaide who is able to get their hands on a ticket, the setup looks fucking sick, and it looks like a really cool way to get back to festivals.
Yeah. Is it like, I've heard like it's like there's a bench in each.
Yeah, you always have like, it's not like a functioning bar, but it almost looks like you got a little space to like have all your drinks and shit set up and like get about.
Yeah.
And it's fucking sick.
Sick.
And they're all like
awesome.
decked up and
Well, the Chats are awesome dudes. Dear Seattle, obviously. So the last show we ever played was with Dear Seattle. So
fuck yeah.
Yeah, which was in March last year, and early March, like the first week of March. So it'll be like 11 months without playing a show, which is, man, for us is super weird. There was times like where we would always make the joke we played more shows than had healthy meals like that week, because you'd play like 6 shows that week and you'd probably have eaten like 2 or 3 like substantial meals. The rest would just be like service station chips and shit. So yeah,
keeping tour costs down.
Yeah, but we got some fun stuff planned. Possibly like a little appearance from Bray from Dear Seattle. We haven't asked him yet, but I'm sure he can do it. We'll just pressure him. We'll use this interview. I've already said on the podcast you were doing it.
We've promised it to the people.
Yeah.
Sam and I were talking about that the other day, and how the first time we get back in the mosh pit, we hear a song that we haven't haven't heard like since lockdown. There'll be just tears coming down the face. ready
Yeah,
to go.
I mean, pretty much there's like nearly 2 full hottest 100s worth. Like, because last year you didn't get much of your hottest 100 sort of hits live. So, yeah, it's, you're going to cop it in 21.
Well, you heard it here first. You're going to fucking cop it in 2021 from Doonies.
Yeah, 2021, cop it.
Well, Danny, thank you so much for taking
Thanks,
the time
fellas.
out today and having a chat.
Yeah, thanks a lot. It's been fun.